So, any suggestions? Well, I guess diplomacy advisor, you can just inform me of that later, but I don't really know where I'm supposed to send the diplomats to find these guys.
Yes, that's what map information would have been kind of handy for. But I do not need to bore you right now. I'll a private message or a post on the forums as to the specifics. I don't want to use the fog of war, but I can probably use our general, Tolkien lore type area and at least send those diplomats in the proper direction.
Right. Actually, our treasury advisor is saying that Mordor is already at war with the Sylvian elves, and that normally if we don't push, they concentrate on the elves more than us. Which would be interesting.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a significant advantage. Yeah.
Also, I was going to say something, and then I completely lost my train of thought. Hang on. Talk for a second while I think, because this is not easy for me.
All right.
I'm trying to have my breakfast.
I don't remember what I was going to say at all. Diplomats and
You should say something.
I'm going to start recording if I can't figure this out soon. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Sergio. You inadvertently reminded me. The forums have been pretty much dead this week, guys. I don't know if there just hasn't been a lot of activity going on or not, but I was going to suggest that any planning between you and your staff go on the forums, because we want to make sure the viewers can see the entire planning process. And there's been very, very few posts at all this week. And once again, don't make me feel like I'm pressuring you guys at all. We're all just doing this for fun. But if you guys are planning, it'd be better to put it on the forum where everyone can see.
Squee, that infers that my staff and me actually plan amongst ourselves. And they're not for just cheering me on.
That is true.
Well, Squee, I suppose I can come down on high and grace the forums with more of my presence.
Yeah, we are all just a titter with expectation.
I can imagine. I don't blame you.
We're not planning, just posting random advice.
Pretty much.
Nice. Also, while we have everyone here, let's decide this now, actually, because if we decide to do this, we'll do it tomorrow night. Do we want to stream the sessions where everyone can take part in them, or as many people as possible, or do you prefer it where everyone prints out their action plans and then I do the session alone?
The latter.
All right, Rebels.
I'm all for streaming.
Everyone else, Kevbob, if you don't know what I'm talking about precisely, it's the advantage would be that you would have more direct control of what happens, because every turn, you would actually be part of the LP session, and you could just say, "Oh, I want to do this." The disadvantage would be that, and of course, you wouldn't have to develop or spend as much time and effort developing action plans, because you could be there and just tell me what you want to do. But the disadvantage would be there wouldn't be a lot of necessity for prediction, because you wouldn't have to be thinking about what's going to happen 10 turns from now. But it's up to you whether you prefer it one way or the other.
I'm only concerned, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but it might be preferable not to have input from us. I do kind of like the idea that we come up with a plan, we give it to you, and then you act it out. If there are, say, 3 or 4 of us who are watching it with you via the stream, I'm afraid that you're going to get too much information all at once, and then it's no longer going to feel like you are in control and playing the game yourself. It might remove you from some of that enjoyment, and might really kind of slow things down as well.
That's right, I agree. We should probably sustain this illusion that he roll for as long as possible.
Yes.
Actually, Sergio came up with another option. If you guys are interested in, I could stream it, but not have anyone on call with me. Have you guys just in the chat room where there's no input. This would actually solve a couple problems, because one, it would still be me doing everything by myself. However, if there is a question, I could just ask you guys. Like, I could say, oh, I don't know
I
if
like
you
that.
did this or not.
That's pretty nice. Plus, then Fang would get over her squeeze stream withdrawal.
Who? I know.
Fang has been going
Phantasmagoria.
through stream withdrawal.
Oh, well, it looks like, unfortunately, well, or not unfortunately for me, but unfortunately for everyone else, streams are probably going to be cut down to Friday nights. And Friday nights only. Maybe every once in a while, but what we could do is do it a Friday night stream, and then I'll just have you guys on text, and then, say, for example, if I have a question with the budget and Sergio's there, well, then I can just ask him. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I would just go by the action plans. And
I think that's a good compromise.
At the very
I agree to
At
that.
the very least, that would save you guys the anticipation of going, oh God, how did the session go?
True.
Alright,
Feels kind of like doing your homework during class.
right, a little bit.
Quick prep for exam.
And actually, that would also solve the other issue of if we're 5 turns into a session and an emergency happens, you know, like someone invades or some huge thing happens, then you guys are there to. Then you know what? In that case, then I could bring you guys in. That would be an interesting idea to have that
Oh,
possibility.
convening an emergency war council kind
right,
of thing.
Right.
Be kind of neat.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
Okay, well, now that we got that out of the way, so why don't we do that? Tomorrow night, I'll stream the session. So that means that you guys are going to have to try and get your action plans up pretty quickly. But I think by now you guys kind of got the hang of what it entails. And if you're
Yeah, I was mainly just waiting for us to do this before I plan out.
Right, well, and if you can be part of the stream, then you don't have to worry about making it incredibly detailed, because if I have a question, I can just ask you on the stream. And then we'll just limit it to that. If I ask a question, you guys can answer, but otherwise we'll just I'll be the one LPing it. And then maybe I'll get my staff member, yay, my staff member to advise me on battles, and that's it. Which
You have a staff member?
I actually, yes, I decided that because I've been having trouble. You guys don't talk to each other a lot sometimes, and sometimes your action
That's
plans.
because they're all idiots.
No, it's sometimes,
Hey!
sometimes your action plans don't quite jive with each other. So I decided to get a staff member to try and help me, you know, compile everything together and try and find inconsistencies, so that before the session starts, I can go, hey, this plan calls for this, but we don't have that. And also, I figured the staff member could be the only one, because, you know, if someone's going to advise me in things, the only thing I really have direct control over are the actual battles. So my staff member will also advise me on possible, like, for example, let's say we have a battle coming up. We know this is going to be a battle. So he might go into the custom battle and create a battle of what it might be, and then advise me on how that might go. But he won't ever have a saved game, because I don't want him to actually do the battle itself, just recreate what he thinks it might be. Yeah, so anyway.
Now, would you call your would you call your staff member your heir, so to speak?
Possibly. Possibly.
All right.
Ooh.
God, I
Really?
think I
Is
just
he
put
allergic to anything? I wonder.
I think I just put
Like-
him in the crossfire.
Was-
I just saw that Sergio said, "Oh no, Infernio's not going to be happy."
What are you talking about? I just need to write a new scene for my play. That's all.
And the sad part is, if he is my heir, he's going to be more vulnerable than me, because since he is not a king yet, he does not have the protection of pure awesome that I do.
Indeed.
So,
It's a shame.
So, advisor of grand strategy, have we developed any other plans? Because I told him that I really do not want to lose Linhir, and it looks like it's going to be unavoidable. The best that he's come up with is taking this general down from Town Host, and then maybe if I do the battle really well, I might have a shot of keeping that town. But
There's nowhere else you can bring troops from that will get there in the one turn that you've got.
Sergio's saying it's doable.
Well, do we have anything in Lynn?
Yeah, we have one unit.
Yeah, what are these respective armies as far as we know?
We have one governor, which has. How do I find out what he has?
He's cavalry.
Yeah, it's 37, so he's going to be cavalry. This army here, we don't know what they consist of. We have no idea. Just 4
we
units.
We only have a general in that city.
We have 5. He has 5 units of something. And this general here, if we bring him over, he is also, I believe, a horse. Only because of his movement rate. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much all the normal generals and everything are going to be cavalry for Gondor. Only Faramir and Boromir have specials.
So it would be 2 horse units defending a city against. And does the city has walls at least, right? Yeah, it has.
Yeah, but
wooden palace.
Unfortunately, you'll be using cavalry against spearmen.
Yeah.
If you create 1 unit of militia in here as well, which will help. But yeah, I think Lynn is pretty much lost cause.
But here's my thinking: is if he has to siege it, it could take him several turns to siege it.
No, he attacks it in the first.
He'll raise a relief force.
So I would crank out as many. I know I'm not the military guy here, but I would crank out as many militia units there as I could. Just start drafting the countryside.
I would think.
Yeah, that's happens too.
Well, he's going to be there to siege it in the next turn, so we can only. Oh, shut it! We can only recruit 1 unit, or no, wait, we could recruit 2 units. No, 1 unit.
Well, if I hadn't gotten shafted with the budget last time, I put in more troops.
Yeah, we can only recruit 1 militia unit there before they siege it. But my thinking was, if he takes more than a turn to siege it, couldn't we get someone from other locations?
No, because he attacks it within the first turn of siege.
Oh, that sucks.
What's the level of the wall?
No, typically it takes them. They besiege it in 1 turn, and then the next turn they build siege equipment, and then on the 3rd turn they typically attack.
And this one, he attacks it and builds siege equipment in the first turn, and then attacks it, and then actually attacks the city.
I see. They've gotten smarter.
But we could do this. We could look. Peligier has 3 units: a militia, an archer, and a general. We could put him on this boat, and he would be there in 2 turns, which means that by the time this guy's ready to attack, we could have some forces there.
Ships ready.
No, the problem you've got, it takes, you get them onto the boat and then you move them around, and then you have to end the turn, so that guy attacks, then you drop them off, and the guy attacks again. So by the time they're down there and offloaded and able to move...
But when you drop them off a ship, they still have some movement room. And if I drop them off over here, then they would have enough room to get up here, to the battle. They should, theoretically. Because, like, for example, if I put them on the ship, and the ship travels down to here for that turn, the next turn I can travel the ship right up here, drop the army off, and the army should still have enough movement range to get to the battle.
That could be possible as well.
And the one thing
you might also consider, as well, on the theory of that movement thing, you could build, in this turn you can build 2 militia units in Tarnost. And they can't get to the city. I don't think they can get whether they... Do they have 2 units in Tarnost already? Or is it just the gen? Right, okay. Forget that. Doesn't make any sense.
You know, the West is pretty much stripped of troops.